Hello there, this is Mr. D coming to you with another one of my videos. This video is about Jesus and him talking to his disciples about what's going to happen at the end of time. What will the world be like? And Jesus sits down and tries to explain to his disciples what these questions they're asking. So let's go to my video. Oh, before I forget, let's make sure that you mark my subscribe button and mark any likes or not. I'm trying to modify that button, but hopefully it'll get better as my videos go. So now let's go to the story. And you see, I'm still trying to get this thing started. There we go. Okay. The end of time, taken from Matthew 24, 1 through 31, Joel 2, 32, and 1 Thessalonians 4, 13 through 17. And this slide presentation is by Mr. D, myself. Now, we start off in Matthew 24 with Jesus sitting down with his disciples on the Mountain of Olives. And Jesus, the disciples came to him and said privately, "Tell us, Master, when shall these things be, the end of time? And what shall be the signs of your coming and the end of the world?" I believe he started to tell the story of salvation and how it was started and how Satan took and caused sin to occur, and how the last days Satan will be removed, but Jesus will come back in the glory of all these angels. So Jesus continued, and Jesus answered, "Take heed that no man will deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Remember that Jesus is the one and the only true light to the things to be. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars, and see that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." I could have put pictures of all kinds of wars through the years, all the way from the Catholics, going over and killing Jews, and Civil War and the Revolution. I mean, wars after wars and wars and wars. But with all of this fighting and World War I and World War II, could there be a World War III? Nations shall rise against nations, and kingdoms against kingdoms. And there will be pestilence, and there will be famine, and there will also earthquakes in diverse places. And all of these things are the beginning of sorrow. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated by all the nations because of me. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another because of me. Nations fighting, the Christians in the middle. And many false prophets shall come, trying to lead the people, of course, and deceive them with lies. Remember that a true leader or a true prophet of God speaks God's words. Now, the question I ask you, if Satan was such a bad guy, and he looked just like this evil demon on the screen, would people be fooled and think he's good if he looked like that? There would be more and more evil in this world, So many people will stop showing their love for each other. And they'll be fighting and not caring about friends and family. The hatred will grow. We see that in our world right now, how fighting, it seems like everywhere you turn, even on YouTube and all the stuff, it's fighting, negatory, not positive, not loving. The book of Timothy, in chapter 3, 1-5, he wrote some interesting stuff about these last days, about the way the people will be in the last days. In the last days, there will come a time of difficulty, for people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful. We see so much of that on TV now, how they propagate unfaithful children, unholy, heartless, unpleasable, or heartless. My wife just told me about a video she watched where a little girl was locked in her room and she got so mad that when she got out, she went and broke into her parents' room, took a gun, and shot him. How can siblings do this? That can really heartless, unpleasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving God, treacherous and reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. I fight that every Sabbath with trying to make sure that this day is holy, but the world treats it like it's nothing special, having the appearance of godliness, but denying its power. False, leaders in our church, people who say they follow God, but they're really only there because it's a routine, going to church on the weekends and going to prayer meetings, but is their heart really different? These kind of people we should try to avoid. But those people who keep their faith until the end will be saved. The good news about God's kingdom will be preached in the world to every nation. Then the end will come. Now, when, therefore, you shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken by the prophet Daniel, stand in the holy place. Whoever reads, let him understand that. Then it goes in verse 16, it talks about how we should be ready to flee into the mountains. I believe that Judea, I'm not sure if it's actually a city or an expression, probably it's a city, but Judea, which is whichever city or place you live in, I believe that we should be ready to travel and to leave and go to a safe place like the mountains. The time will come quick. We need to be ready. Let them, or let him, which is on his housetop, not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him, which is afield, return back to take his clothes. And woe to them that are with child, bearing, carrying. But pray you that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. At that time, there will be much trouble. There will be more trouble than ever been since the beginning of the world until now. And nothing as bad will ever happen again. It must have been worse than the flood. And the flood was pretty bad. God has decided to make that terrible time short. Otherwise, no one would go on living. But God will make the time short only to help his people who he has chosen. At that time, someone might say to you, look, there is the Christ. Or another person might say, there he is. But don't believe them. False Christs and false prophets will come and perform great wonders and miracles. They will try to fool even the people of God that he has chosen, if that is possible. Behold, I have told you before. Why, if they shall say to you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, if they say he's in a secret chamber, believe it not. But are you ready for him to return? When the Son of Man comes, he will be seen by everyone like lightning flashing from the east and to the west. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from the heavens, and the power of the heavens shall be shaken. That would be an unbelievable sight. Joel wrote about it, that the sun will be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and awesome day of the Lord comes. In Isaiah 2, soon after the trouble of those days, the sun will grow dark and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky and the power of the heavens will be shaken. Now, Jesus talking about this is in the Bible, or in their version of the Bible that Jesus had studied, talked about this. And Jesus was probably just reminding the people about what the prophets had said. But on May 19th, 1780, the moon did turn to blood and the sun did go dark. That was noted in an article written by Boston Gazette on the 29th of that month. Now, at that time, the signs of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, that all the people of the world will cry. They will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds in the sky with a great power and glory. He will use a loud trumpet to send his angels all around the earth, and they will gather his chosen people from every part of the world. Now, 1 Thessalonians, Paul wrote, but I would not have you be ignorant, brothers, concerning them which are asleep, that you sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. The ones that are asleep could be saved and they could be not saved. I believe the ones not saved are probably the ones with no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him. Bring him home. For this we say to you by the words of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain to the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from the heaven, which with a shout and a voice with the archangel and with the trump of the God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. That means all the dead people that have died over the centuries in the ground, dead, will come out of the ground. That is going to be an amazing sight. They talk about zombies. Imagine what it's going to be like with all those people coming out. Perfect. Retransformed into the perfectness that God intended us to be. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. So that shall we ever be with the Lord. Now, we need to ask ourselves, are we ready for this special event to occur? Are you looking forward every day for Jesus in the sky coming back? Is your soul ready? Are you watching the same right things? Are you doing the right things? Is God leading your life? I suggest we get ready for the end. Now, me, Mr. D, has to say that this chapter just amazes me at how important it is in our life. And the whole Bible is important. And that's what my goal is as Mr. D, is to bring the Bible to us in an easy fashion so we don't get confused like pastors make us confused. I am not a scholarly person. I'm just a messenger from God. So I hope that this helps you find what might be a little voice inside you saying, hey, we need to change a little bit. Hey, we need to do this. Or hey, the Sabbath is important to me too. Don't forget to mark my subscribe button. I thank everybody for coming. I look forward to doing my next video. I am doing a video at San Marcos. No, not a video. I'm doing a children's story at San Marcos. I think it's the first Sabbath of March. I always enjoy having people come and hear me. May God be with you, and may the Lord bless your life. And I look forward to see you on my next video. God bless.